In the book From Christendom to Apostolic Mission, the writers say that the main task today in evangelization is to present faith as a vision, is a whole different way to see the world. So that's one of the main tasks, is for us to have this completely different vision. And there's really these two different visions that we have. We have a vision of the culture that's constantly being presented to us. This is the way you should see things. And we have the Catholic faith, which is meant to be a vision. It's meant to be like putting on glasses and you literally see everything differently. And so you might recognize that I constantly try to give you analogies of ways to see the world differently. So yesterday, as a reminder, or if you weren't here yesterday, I said, imagine that, tomorrow is the World Cup finals. So that's actually happening. France is playing Argentina. And just imagine with me if the head coach of France sent French spies into Argentina's team, and these French spies presented various things to Argentina players. Some presented them with vacation packages to the French Alps. Others, they sent these video compilations comparing them against Lionel Messi, and they realized that, hey, they're not anywhere close as good as Lionel Messi, so why should they even show up to the game if he's on the team? And believe it or not, 23 out of 26 players were persuaded by the French spies to not show up to the game tomorrow morning. And so the Argentina fans that were at the game to watch the game would be heartbroken. They'd be so frustrated. All of these players were chosen to be on the team. They all had a role to play. And then the Argentina players would be totally embarrassed to finally realize, come game time, that they actually had a role to play and they didn't realize it. And then the French fans would rejoice, in which they would crush Argentina. I had some people tell me yesterday, you better not be, predicting what's going to happen. But no, this is just an analogy, okay? Okay, so this is actually a good image of what's happened in the church, right? Satan is the head coach of the opposing team. It's so important for us to realize there's really like a war going on in our lives. There's two teams. And at the end of our lives, each one of us are going to sign a permanent contract with the team. It's just good for us to realize that. Every single person here, you're kind of like a free agent. And when you die, the contract is signed for eternity. That's important to realize. It's also important to realize that, Satan sends spies into our life. They're constantly trying to persuade us. I don't think anyone's gotten an offer for the French Alps, but that's an image of distraction, okay? Distractions. Satan is constantly giving us distractions to pull us away from what's important. The vacation package in the French Alps is a good image of the distractions that continually come into our lives, that make us forget that life is actually meaningful, has eternal value, that there's actually a battle taking place, that this has eternal consequences, this day. And our lives are hanging in the balance. My life, your life, the life of your loved ones, the contract has not been signed yet of where your eternal destiny is. And each one of you has been chosen to have an essential role on God's team. Really important. Now for other people, so distractions are going to be continually presented in our lives. Some of you get really distracted with your iPhones. Others, it's internet articles. And you just get totally chase the rabbit hole. And all of a sudden you're spending more time reading some end time prophecy than you are praying. That's a distraction. That's something that Satan is presenting to you as a distraction. So it's good for you to realize, okay, the distractions are not just meaningless. They're actually, there's an enemy who's trying to do whatever he can to distract you from what's important in life. And then for other people, it's not just distractions, it's discouragement. So the comparing yourself against Lionel Messi, and showing the highlight reel of how much worse you are, well, that happens as well with the saints. We can compare ourselves against people that we think are holier than us, and we think, oh, I can never do that. Or you compare yourself against the image that you think you should be of holiness. You're like, oh, I should be here by now. Like, I should be this holy. I shouldn't be struggling with this. And discouragement is one of the enemy's main tactics of preventing you from progressing in the spiritual life. Discouragement is like one of the biggest things. Distractions, discouragement. These are the two D's of the devil, in which he's constantly trying to make us not play in the game. Because he's terrified at the idea of you becoming a saint. He sees it like St. John Vianney. The devil revealed to St. John Vianney, if there were two more of you in this world, I would be ruined. I would be destroyed. And so he was terrified of John Vianney for being a saint. And the same thing is true with us. And so the reality is, once again, this is actually game day. Today is game day. And all the angels and saints are watching us. And every single one of you has a key role to play. There's no day that should be wasted. No day should be wasted. Today has eternal value. Eternal value. Today has eternal value. Don't waste today.